with what one passenger said looks like a scene out of Titanic. A luxury cruise ship running aground off the coast of Italy. Thousands were evacuated, but some people just panicked and jumped overboard. At least 3 people are dead this morning, and right now rescuers are out searching the waters for survivors there. ABC's Lama Hassan is in London this morning with more. Lama, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Well, even at this hour, rescuers are going from cabin to cabin trying to find survivors who may have been trapped as the cruise liner began to tilt steeply, almost capsizing overnight. And it was a major operation. At least 5 helicopters were deployed and divers had to scour the water looking for missing passengers. Now, ABC News has learned that the U.S. Embassy has established an emergency response team. There are at least 80 American vacationers on board, and they are now being taken to safety in Rome. Plunged into darkness, it was a dramatic rescue operation. Helicopters hovered close to the ship, desperately looking for survivors, plucking at least 50 passengers to shore. As dawn broke, you could see clearly what they were up against. This video from Repubblica TV shows the liner almost submerged in water. The luxury cruise ship Costa Concordia ran aground 18 miles off the coast of Tuscany with 3,200 passengers and 1,000 crew members on board. Water came gushing in through the hull. It was a race against time. Passengers described the scene as pure chaos.
Everybody was just screaming out. All the passengers were running up and down.
Some vacationers panicked when the ship began to tilt, scrambling to get to safety by jumping, but they died trying to escape.
We jump on the sea. Then we just swim, and then luckily there's an island near us.
They were ordered to put on life jackets and get into life rafts, but according to some survivors, they couldn't get into them because the cruise liner was tilting so much the boats couldn't be lowered into the sea. Most of the 4,200 on board were evacuated and rescued with lifeboats, taken to the nearby island, Giglio. Many passengers were having dinner when they heard a loud bang. They were initially told the ship had electrical problems. A passenger in the dining hall described it.
And then they said that we should stay calm. It's nothing. It's just an electrical problem or just some blackout thing. But the ship was already tilted.
The 950-foot ship, which is equivalent to just over 3 football fields, set out for an 8-day Mediterranean cruise, a dream vacation for many that quickly turned into a nightmare. A terrifying ordeal. Passengers complain the crew failed to give instructions on how to evacuate the cruise liner, which probably slowed down their response to this accident. A full and thorough investigation is now underway. Biana.
All right, Lama, just a horrifying scene. We appreciate it. Thank you. And we're going to speak with one of those Americans who was on the ship. Lynn Kalin is from Washington State. She was aboard the ship and is joining us now on the phone from Italy. Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. And the first question I have to ask you is how you're feeling right now.
Oh, I'm still very shaken. I can't even explain how horrible it was. And there was no rhyme or reason. It was just total chaos. And it wasn't the passenger. No one knew what to do. The captain never came on. We knew we were going down. They didn't want to evacuate the ship. They kept saying everything was going to be okay. It was just a technical problem.
And Lynn, I want to get to the details in just a moment, but set the scene for us. The ship had just left port a few hours before. You were sitting down to dinner, and then what? Then you heard the crash?
Well, we got there about 9:15, and at 9:30, the crash hit, and things started sliding and bricks was breaking and we were tilting. The tables falling, chairs moving, and so everyone kind of calmed down again, and then it really hit again. So I got up and grabbed one of the brass poles and grabbed my friend, and you could see things spilling and rolling on the ground. And she said, we need to go to our cabin and get our life jacket on and get our shoes and socks and a coat. So we went to our cabin to get those things, and the things were breaking and falling on people. The doors were coming off and hitting people. And the boat was slanted for us to start trying to get through there.
One American who was aboard the ship described the scene as purely chaotic, a scene from the Titanic. Would you support that?
Titanic without the water. Yes, it was like Titanic without the water. There was absolutely chaos.
And Lynn, there are 3 fatalities as we know of as of now. Do you think that they could have been avoided had the crew gone through other procedures?
I guarantee you they could have been avoided. There is no reason for this. soon as that ship hit last night and it tilted, how can you get a ship when it's tilted back straight up? They should have started, and everyone's complaining about that. They should have started taking us off. They didn't even know how to get those boats down. They asked for phones to try to see how to even work the nuts to get us off the boat and get us out of there.
Sounds like it was sheer
No one would have been hurt.
It sounds like it was sheer disarray. We're happy and fortunate that you were able to get off board safely along with your friend. We appreciate your time this morning, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you.
You can still hear the panic
Yeah.
and shock in her voice, obviously, understandably so. And there's an investigation going on as to what happened and if the crew could have reacted differently.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have better safety measures in place.
Yeah.